Hi, everyone. We're back to the Neil Haley Show here on the Total Celebrity segment. And I'm excited to welcome to the program Brian McKnight Jr. Brian, what's going on? Thanks for stopping by again. How are you?
Man, I'm great, man. Great to see you again. How you been?
I'm doing great, Brian. And, we're talking pretty much your story last time, but then things were picking up. We're talking about some of your projects, but now things are really picking up in 2021, aren't they?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Things seem to be in full swing, man. And I'm just thankful, and I'm really, really excited about these next few weeks as I start kind of rolling all the stuff we talked about before out, and seeing it coming together, man. It's just been incredible.
Exactly. And what would you say? Performing in front of people soon too, right? Are you already performing?
Oh yeah, man. It's exciting to think of being able to step away from some of these virtual performances and get back in front of the people, man, this summer. And that for me is super exciting because that's probably the most, the thing I've missed the most, man, is getting out there and just feeling that energy from everybody. So the idea that, just coming back from this time with the projects I'm working on, and that kind of being also my introduction to all these new fans, man, I think it's going to be an exciting time, super exciting time.
Exactly. So you were talking about the projects before, but really didn't go in quite detail. How much is the process when you're about to release? Tell us the whole steps involved in releasing a new album or a new song, how that process works.
The process for me, being that I'm completely independent, man, is probably much easier than you think. I don't really have to wait on anybody since I produce it all. I mix it all most of the time and master it all. All I really have to do is pick what song I want to drop and when, and cipher through all this vault that I have and figure out what I want to give. And that for me, I feel like is the most tedious part, trying to find the songs that kind of match the time, that kind of fit the narrative of the week in itself, being that I'm really going to be dropping music probably every Friday, man, for the rest of this year. For me, it was more so just setting these things up in a way to be consistent without having to be, so hands-on. So I'm able to still write and still be creative. So a lot for me was just plugging these songs into this machine, man. I started last year and kind of just ramping up the output. And it's been really exciting, man. The hardest part, which is the music for me, is done. Right. So now it's really, I'm able to kind of step into my CEO mode and just figure out what's the best songs to drop and when. And that's kind of the momentum I'm picking up now, is just staying in that just constant evolution of figuring out where I want to go next. And that really is probably the hardest part.
How do you figure that out? How do you figure out what songs are going to be the best ones to drop and not drop?
As of late, man, I've been letting the people help me decide. I've been really using my Instagram, and I've been really using Twitter. I've been going live a lot more and just inviting people into the process, playing a bunch of songs, seeing which ones people listen to more, which ones they're vibing for, and just pretty much asking everyone to let me know what songs they want me to drop. And that's definitely been a big help, because it takes all the pressure of me not knowing if they're going to want it. It's like, just give the people what they want. They'll be happy. Just throw in a little bit of those, throw little cherries on top for them that are your favorite things, which is what I love to do. I really take the old school rollout mechanism, man, where it's the single approach. I'll drop 3 or 4, singles that I know the people like, and then I'll give them that passion single that I know is one of my favorites, just to kind of keep that balance of, not necessarily following any trends or following any particular sounds, more so just the energy. I love being that I write love songs, man, it really makes it, it gives me a lot of avenues to get into. So I feel like I'm a lot luckier than a lot of people in that regard. And especially since I have so many songs to choose from, I'm never scrambling to find, what I want to put out or anything like that. It's kind of more just like, what's the best option? And then having this technology just allows you to get right to the people, man. And that's been a huge help for me with how my fan base has grown in the last year. So just trying to keep that momentum up again, keep that consistency up, and now build that one-on-one or that one-to-one relationship with my fans has definitely been a huge help in picking which songs I want to drop, for sure.
And why don't they drop the whole album? What's the reason in the music industry that you choose to drop a couple songs at a time?
I think what the old guard would tell you, man, is that people, you kind of gotta ease them in to full projects, which I can understand. For me, man, I'm extending it to full EPs. You know, some of these Fridays this year, I'll be dropping 3-track EPs, sometimes maybe even 5-track EPs, because I'm totally not a believer in any set way. You know, I feel like you know your output should definitely be based on you more so than what any formula anyone says, because the attention spans of these fans these days, man, they're almost begging you for more music. You know, they're almost, especially if they love what you do. So whenever I post something new, they want it right then. And I'm at that point again where I'm doing 3 or 4 or 5 songs a day. So for me, man, it's hard to just give them one song. It's hard for them to just,
Right.
I'm the guy that wants to give them full albums. But I definitely can understand the business side of setting that foundation up, bringing that fan base in for whatever that particular project is with a single or two, and then unveiling that whole project for them to, you know, consume entirely. But yeah, man, I'm a song hoarder. So now that I'm kind of just giving them away, I can't just do one at a time.
So you're basing on the stream versus buying each song, the streams that you're
Right,
looking at. Okay. It's almost like a
right, man.
YouTube type thing for artists, right?
Exactly. Yeah,
Spotify, all that. So you're just hoping as many of your fans listen, then you're going to make as much, you're going to get the success of the song, but plus get paid for
exactly, man. Exactly.
it.
And
But the
on time,
money,
in
but
real
the
time.
but the money is not, it's the touring where the money is, right?
Oh, definitely still. But what's interesting though, man, if the gap in between touring and well, let's just say royalties now is really closing with how direct to consumer the relationship has become, you know, with just this new, just, I don't know, insurgence of young artists that are taking over their own careers, man. It really allows you to, I mean, YouTube alone, man,
Right.
the money that you can make on YouTube as an artist, if you have everything set up, is, I mean, the sky is truly the limit at that point, especially if you're someone like me where you own 100% of it. I really don't have to wait. I really don't have to ask for permission for anything. I don't do a lot of sampling either. So if I throw a video up on my YouTube and it goes viral and I get 300 million views, I mean, the potential in the revenue from that
It's
is
huge.
honestly unheard of,
So what's the
man.
biggest
Yeah.
number you've had of views on a YouTube video so far?
Let's see, man. The original video for my song "Marry Your Daughter," which is my biggest to date, man. I feel like we've got almost 60 million, 70 million views, and that
Wow.
in itself, man, has been a
That's going to pay a lot
lifesaver
more in
for me.
Spotify, isn't it?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, without a doubt, man. It's one of those things that truly saved my life, being that I was ahead of the curve, even on the business side of knowing that I should be monetizing, I should have all these different things going. Um, that come directly to me. I don't have to wait for my label to send me my money.
So your
These are
dad's
things that
telling
I
you all
can
the time,
monitor.
well, how are you doing this, man? Right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. No,
Because
for a
he's
long
on the
time.
old school end and you're on the
Yeah,
get on YouTube, and because you
you
see
got
those
to, man.
YouTube stars, and
Oh
those
yeah,
TikTok stars making all that money. You produce
oh
all the
yeah,
music yourself. It's the perfect model, for sure.
yeah, man. I agree. I agree. And now with Twitch and all these live streaming ways where people can literally pretty much just invest in you on the spot is how I see it. It's just, it's a new world for artists, man, that I think is just in its infancy and hasn't truly really bubbled over yet. But I think with this NFT insurgence, with just this new Renaissance era of art, I feel like I'm appreciating seeing music. The business side is kind of catching up with the artists,
That's
you
great.
know, integrity. So I'm
So you
definitely
probably would
excited to be a
never
part of
want
it.
to go to a label then. If you're going to make money, you can make an independent.
Yeah, man. It's, you know, for me personally, it would have to be literally the best deal of all time for me to sign anything away to any label. For me personally, as an indie label owner, my goal has always been to maybe partner with one of these big labels as a label myself, to where I still have complete creative control over myself as an artist, but I have those big machine label services, which is, if you've noticed, the top artists have kind of done that. The Weeknd and EXO have done that. Drake and OVO have done that. Post Malone and Jay London and them are really, really pioneering that space now of really just taking the reins of your career and making those big dudes come to you. And by the end of the year, man, I'm really hoping, you know, that's where I would love my trajectory to
That's
take
great.
me. to where they come to me. And I would like to make a historic deal in the sense, you know, I would like to do something that's never been done with someone that's owning their masters from the beginning, owning everything from the beginning, honestly. I think that's where the business is going, man. And I'm really, really excited about that.
Right, exactly. And it's just like, but what about awards now? Because it's independent. Do you have the opportunity to get awards in music and all that if you stay an independent? That's why you want to partner with a big label at one point.
Oh no, the beauty of now, man, is yeah, you can be independent and win Grammys. You can be independent and be
really?
nominated. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Her, I feel like the artist, her man, is probably the best example of that. She's had an incredible run the last 3 years and hasn't even put out her debut album yet, and is still independent. You figure she performed Super Bowl this year.
Yeah.
She's done it all, and she's won 3 Grammys already. And she's independent, man. Writes it all. She produces most of it herself as well. So she's kind of set the bar for what can be obtained without that huge label presence. And that, even for me, has been so motivating to say, if I can just reach that first summit, you know, they will parachute me up. That's for sure.
And what about touring? When's that happen? When are you going to start touring?
Man, as soon as the gates open,
they're starting to open for comedians. Why aren't they happening with singers?
You know, it's interesting. Me and my partners were talking about that last night, and I feel like they were willing to sacrifice comedians first. They were willing to make them their guinea pigs to see if we can get out there again. But no, all jokes aside, I just feel like being that, you know, the festival atmosphere is really where it's at. I would imagine the guidelines there are going to have to really, really get worked out before they let all these crazy kids back into these venues again.
Yeah, because it is comedy.
Which I can totally understand.
It's set up. You can social distance much better with tables.
Exactly.
It's not an audio, and you know, you do the car deal, but that doesn't.
Right.
That's not
quite the same.
Quite the same. But you're figuring it all out online. You're glad you've got the opportunity to go online. And what you were telling Chris, or Chris was saying in the last interview we did, he said that you're better than your father as a singer, or it was hearing they are considering that you have the shot to be as big as your father or bigger.
Oh yeah, man. I like to say I'm 2.0. I really believe that I have what it takes to definitely take it to the next level, man.
What advice is your father giving you now, especially with how you got your business together? What is
you know, it's interesting, man. Me and my dad really don't talk, which is you know, because there are still times that I do look for him for certain pieces of advice. But just full transparency, man, I feel like I've reached a level in my life and even in my career where my dad probably wouldn't even have that much advice for me, which on the outside, I'm sure would seem like a really egotistical thing to say if you are a fan of my dad. But I'm in uncharted territory in the sense of that he really didn't go through some of the obstacles that I have in this new digital world, or in, you know, social media and all of that. And the things that I've been able to accomplish on my own, which I've grown to appreciate more. You know, not really even having a quote unquote mentor in the sense to kind of help me. I really had to navigate these waters myself and fail and really get to the point now to where I'm like, okay, I figured out some things that work. Now let's evolve on that. What I have always hoped, man, is that in the event that my dad and I reconcile, I'll be able to help him finally. I would love to be able to give him all this knowledge that I've learned. And, you know, I see things about his career that I know I could help him with if we could bridge that gap. And I know it'll happen soon. You know, I feel like just as men, we all kind of had to take some time to grow. And when we do come back together, man, I do see it being a historic event, you know, a monolith type of thing.
So give us what songs are dropping very soon, or they already have?
Oh yeah, man. So last Friday started, you know, the rain of drops I've got coming. The first 2 drops were Follow Your Heart, which is the first single off the debut album, Hopeless Romantic, which is super exciting. The second one is called Right There, which is a collaboration with a really great buddy of mine. He goes by Wave Runner. We're both from North Carolina, and that's just a straight R&B feel-good jam. And then tomorrow, and actually midnight tonight, my partner DJ Please and I are going to drop the first single from our upcoming project, which is our sixth album we've dropped in 2 years, completely independent. And that song is called You Never Know. And I feel like it's perfectly fitting for the time because it's really just about loving life, loving your loved ones, because you really never know what will happen. And you just got to make sure they know just in case. And then from there, man, starting next month, there will be, I believe there's 5 Fridays in April. So there may be 5 releases coming next month. And I'm kind of setting those up now and just picking what is going to be that. But yeah, man, the flood is definitely imminent. And I'm so excited, man. It's going to be nonstop for the rest of the year.
How big's your team when you talk about an independent label, but all those different things you're talking about? You can't do this all on your own.
No, not at all, man. And for a while I did. And it wasn't until maybe the last 6 or 7 months that the pieces for the team that I knew that I needed begun to come together. And it really is just a few of us. The Scorpio in me keeps the tight knit. I have my business partner and my best friend, Adam, my brother, who is photographer, videographer, and you got your business people. I've got my lawyer. I've got all the essentials. I'm not an entourage guy. And being that on the music side, I do everything myself, man. I realized early the pieces I needed. I'm not shy about what I'm not good at, and I'm not shy about asking for help either. And I've been fortunate enough to have exactly who I need around me at the right time, especially now, to kind of put me where I need to be. And I'm really, really so thankful for that, because there was a while that I wasn't sure I would find my team. And feeling like I finally have those pieces together is huge, and it's made a serious difference.
Absolutely. Okay. So up next, we just got best thing is people to find info on you, right? Where can we go? Man. Check out your album. I mean, your songs that are dropping, all that's where's best place?
Man, so right now, social media is the best. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook are still the best places to find me. My website, McKnightJR.com, is being built right now. And I'm really, really excited because that in itself is going to open up the world to everything that I do. And I feel like it's going to be a really cool concept for people to get involved with. And I'll be definitely promoting that heavily over the next few weeks once that begins to roll out. But, for now, I'm at Brian McKnight Jr. everywhere people can be found. And I'm putting everything out right now. So, it's not boring at all.
All right, Brian, we appreciate you coming by. Great way to catch up, but great to see how much of an entrepreneur you are and how you're developing your skill sets. It's awesome. So I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. It's always a good time with you, brother.
All right, take care. All right, okay, guys, that was the Neil Haley Show. Take care.
Peace.